heavy political season. But the last time I learned anything on radio, I can't remember.
Let's get one last one from Daktari Edwin from Tanzania. Sorry. Right after.
For me, I think radios are more of an emphasis of what has already been displayed on TV. I believe the Gen Zs, especially like us in Uganda, one thing I know is we believe in pictures as evidence. Like when a breaking story comes up, people do not care about words and articles. People care about pictures. I want to see, like, if you talk of Kampala bombings, I want to see people being bombed. I want to see the Jeshi shooting at people, and it's pictures that speak more. So why I think radio comes at number 3 in terms of percentage is because in as much as they have the news, they have the facts, but
thing is believing.
I need a picture. I need to believe. Yeah.
That's a very interesting perspective. I'd like to close that question now so that we can move on to the next one. And I'm actually afraid to ask this question because of how you've been answering the past two. How many people are presently paying for at least one news service? Yani unatoa hela yako. You remove your hard-earned coin towards payment of Edith Kimani. Let's see.
Show
Juliana,
hands.
please raise
Are
that
you
hand
paying
high.
for the content?
Oh, only the Germans. What's going on?
We have 4 people.
We have Professor there.
5.
Okay, can we hear from the people who are paying for the services?
Yeah? Huh? Nancy goes first? Okay, back there. Chumani, you can go.
So, I'm Jumanne from Tanzania.
Can you tell us what Jumanne is in English?
Jumanne is Tuesday, for those who don't understand Swahili. I wasn't born on Tuesday. Yeah, so to me it come by default. I paid DSTV to watch football. And, and so sometimes, like, okay, so what's happening in CNN or BBC? But I think for most of us, especially colleagues, we just pay for a very specific thing. Because of that trick that comes as a package, by default, you watch movies. But I mean, you watch also news. I think one thing I also wanted to add, which I feel is really, really important, is the fact that news is no longer news. And I think the question that you ask, if it was trickled around, not viewing or following on the news, if the question asked was breaking the news, I think social media would be the first one. So because news is no longer news, what comes after the news is the news.
Right, so you're saying you pay for an entertainment service, and as part of the package, you get dw.com, and you're like, easy peasy. All right, you had your hand up, right?
Going to say the same thing. Yeah, we pay for DSTV and GoTV to watch
who
everything
is
else.
going out of their way to specifically subscribe to a news service?
News service. Emmanuel.
Juliana, I'd also like to hear from you.
Then I go first. So yeah, I'm listening quite to a podcast which is discussing social issues with the news from all over the world. Yes, sure. And then they are making like extra mini podcasts about the social issues. So it's like an extra thing. So started to, yeah.
Are you paying for just that one service, or do you have multiple ones?
I have multiple ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roxana, you also had your hand up. Do you want to give a comment?
Well, in my case, I've decided to pay for background articles, like very well-researched journalistic pieces, which are not available. There's a paywall on them. So I decided to, buy the whole package. And of course, you would get some extras on top of that. But besides that, I think it's also a matter of how specific the topic is. Because sometimes they package it in a way that you only get it, by paying for that particular service. So management topics or educational topics, so it depends very much on the field.
Right.
Thank you. Before Professor Nyaboga, we have a hand raised online. Are you there? Balu? Balu, are you there? please unmute yourself and give your comment.
Okay. It's hearing for you?
We can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, please. I'm Bali Barisov from Ethiopia, East Africa, Ethiopia, and I'm a freelance journalist. So, and I have, as I think this is the journalist festival. So, the question means that which media is the best, and let's participate on it. So prove it as a comment the question. Sorry.
I'm so sorry, but we can't seem to hear you quite clearly. The question was, are you currently paying for any news service?
Okay. Let's give the chance for the other and again to participate on.
All right, we can't seem to understand you, but thank you anyway for being at the festival, and also the 20 people who are with you online. We see you.
Professor,
Okay.
you had a comment.
Oh, yes, I pay for or subscribe actually to The Nation and occasionally The Standard, and this is in Kenya. And this is because I believe that good journalism is not free, and that, journalism should be supported. And they've made this, or they've appealed numerous times, just like The Guardian in the UK, which was almost collapsing. But that appeal gets to me, first because I'm a journalist, and secondly because, I believe that journalism matters, still matters.
Okay. I would like to ask a question. Conversely, how many of you are paying for at least one entertainment service? We're talking Netflix, Hulu, Showmax, whatever, even YouTube Red, Spotify. Yeah, how many? Okay. Let me hear from somebody we haven't heard from. The ladies at the back there. I'd like to know why you prefer to pay for an entertainment service versus news, and we are saying journalism can make the world a better place.
Yes, it does. It can make the world a better place.
Kindly stand up so that people online can see you.
Okay. My name is Olivia. So I work in a newsroom. I work with NTV. So most of the times I am consuming news. So if I am, and like we were discussing earlier, the newsroom is one of the most toxic places. Like it's so stressing. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
This is difficult.
So for me, paying for Netflix or paying for Apple Music, it's my way of, toning it down and, getting back re-energized for what I'll do tomorrow. So that's why I pay for that.
Let's hear the snapper here, the one who's snapping. Talk to us.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah, I agree with her, honestly. I think we consume a lot of news online. I work with MCI Radio. I'm always checking out these blogs. I'm always checking out these sites. So, Netflix is my time to chill. So I need to pay for it and watch the nice films and all that. Yeah,
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that entertainment has value that is additional, which can be paid for. News, however, there is none.
Oh, there is.
Yes? Okay,
There's a hot comment there.
And then we'll hear from Anne after.
Because I'm also a journalist practicing.
Please introduce yourself first.
I am Sam Hindo. I work with the Observer. As Olivia said, the newsrooms are toxic. Thanks to Abbas, he has given us mentors. I'm sure the feedback will be one. The newsrooms are toxic. But we find, like Spotify, if my subscription expired today, at least I'll call Solomon to load for me 10,000 for my subscription to be renewed, just like for my Netflix, because that's when I have my me time. 2, since news can be accessed from any platform, even me, the journalist, as Professor said, I felt ashamed. I don't find the need to support the journalism that is paying me.
Oh, la, la, yeah.
This is rough.
All right, Anne. And then please hand the microphone to the gentleman after you're done.
Yeah, all right. So just agreeing with everyone, but also think about our consumption habits of news. It's very fast right now. So even if you're watching it on TV, within the first 15 minutes, you're done with the main stories and you go back to your Netflix. I love my Netflix. But I think we also, thinking about Netflix only for entertainment. It's very educational. There are a lot of good documentaries on Netflix. I learned a lot about babies when I became a mother because there was a documentary on Netflix about babies. So the question is, what is legacy media doing around educational content? Because Netflix seem to have figured it out beyond just entertainment. Thanks.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Can we see what's on your T-shirt, please? What does it say?
Sheme, what's he saying?
No, those who follow NTV, there is some program, Raymond Mujuni said this statement when they were passing the Computer Misuse Act. Yeah, so he said, he was speaking to the person who tabled it, that you cannot discomfort people and become comfortable. So I found it quite speaking to the masses. That said.
All right, let's hear your comment.
For me, I think journalism or legacy media needs to reinvent itself. We've not asked ourselves, have we reinvented who tells the stories, how we tell the stories? Have we thought about who consumes the stories? If we figure those questions out, then we are going to start thinking. Look at platforms like Vice Media. Look at Vox. Is it Vox?
Yes,
They
Vox
are
News.
changing. You go and find millions of views and people paying. Come to Ugandan platforms. Look for example, NTV. NTV has a lot of talent. It has, there is an enormous talent. Go to UBC, the public broadcaster. It has a lot of channels. It has quite a reach in the entire country. But go and see their content. They have YouTube access. Young people you go into phone penetration in this country. It's crazy. People are consuming content with phones. What are they doing with the boxes and content there? Create content for young people, use the YouTube platforms, create engaging and interactive documentaries, infusing entertainment, if you go on Vox, there is a gentleman, I think it was called Harris Chris. This guy creates stories with maps. I'm telling you, go and check him out. His views are always in millions and is supported by so many people. So for me, I feel like it's not that we are paying for Spotify has a lot of people who we connect with and we relate with. Just lastly, a gentleman called Lecrae has released his recent album. He's into the Christian circle. I love that album. Why? It speaks to me. This is a storyteller who's using music, but the same stories are told about mental health every October 10th. But go and check out all the stories that have been told about mental health.